back. Whoops, his leg fell off. But hello guys, and I'm here from Not Toys Action Figures, bringing you another action figure review. And today we have something a little bit special, but still within our Power Ranger wheelhouse. And that is, as you can see here, a Bandai, however you say that, Tamashii Nations, S.H.Figuarts, Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, or as we know it, the Tyrannoranger, the Tyrannosaurus Power Ranger. Yes, this is my first ever S.H.Figuarts, and you can see this comes from the Sentai series. It's that version. I guess this was a Japanese import. I actually bought this kind of second hand off eBay. So yeah, it's already been opened. I haven't opened it up yet. But yeah, I really wanted to try out the S.H.Figuarts line, especially since we recently did reviews of the Super 7 Ultimates. And also thank you so much for your support on those videos, because those videos are doing really, really well for my channel. So thank you to all of those that watched. And yeah, and I'm kind of like on a mission to try and find the best figures for Power Rangers. Like we've obviously got a lot of Lightning Collection, and I think Lightning Collection is great because it's it used to be very affordable, and for what you paid, the quality was quite good. Obviously, it's getting more expensive, and arguably the quality is going down. So that's why I wanted to try S.H.Figuarts, because these are much more expensive, but I'm hoping the quality is a lot better. So let's get him out of the box and have a look. And just before we totally get him out, I love this presentation. Like, I just love how it comes in like this very flat plastic. He's kind of pressed in there. He can't kind of fall around. Like, there's nothing holding him in. And you can see all of his weapons here. And I think it's going to be interesting because I think some of these accessories, maybe they weren't in the Power Rangers series, so they're very specific to the Sentai series. But yeah, let's continue to get him out of his plastic tomb and have a look. Okay, and so here we have Jason, or Rocky, I guess we could call him if we're relating to the Power Rangers, because I don't know the Sentai names for the characters, out of the box. And yeah, you can already see just the quality of this figure. Like, setting him up, he does look feel very thin and kind of very toy-like, but just getting him into poses compared to Super 7 and also compared to the Lightning Collection is way easier. And you can see all of the detail on there. Like when you look at the sword hilt, you can see the Tyrannosaurus, you can see the gold on it, the patterns on the sword. I'm not sure if that's actually correct. I think they're more like inlays on the sword rather than being printed on there, but it's nice that they added it. His head, his helmets are all the right proportions, beautifully painted. You go down to the rest of his body, everything looks really nice. His morpher there, also the blaster. There are 4 versions of the blaster with him, all the way down to the boots. Like, yeah, he feels like, yeah, just quality, and you can kind of see the difference. And just getting him into these poses was easy, and it also feels much more like mechanical, because when we go over his articulation, I'll kind of show you what I mean. But it feels more mechanical. It feels more like you are using one of those, you know, those kind of wooden mannequins that artists use to draw poses. Like, it feels more like you were using that than a toy. So you can kind of really get him into how you want him, get him to stand up how you want. But yeah, let's put him in another pose before we go through his articulation. Okay, and here he is in more of a kind of martial arts style pose, like ready to throw a right hook out there. And yeah, again, just so easy. Like, he comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 sets of hands. And I really like the fist. Actually, if we have a closer look at it, the fist actually looks quite small compared to the rest of the other hands. But I like that they kind of throw in these kind of like kind of relaxed, grabby hands, because you can use them for so many things. Like, he's about to throw up a cobra block here, or you can use it on his sword. And yeah, again, the figure, it just looks great. Like, my biggest feedback, or the biggest kind of thing I have is yeah, the torso there. Like, you can see how janky the shoulders look, because these shoulder pieces are a separate piece that you kind of have to try and move around to get to look flush. But from watching other reviews of other S.H.Figuarts figures, that seems to be a problem that they usually have around the hips, and like the ass of the character basically sometimes looks a little bit janky. And here, yeah, I mean, from here it doesn't look too bad, but here you can see the gap underneath his arm. Like, I guess I could move his arm up a little bit to try and fix that, but yeah, otherwise he's a really nice character. Let's put him in another pose because it's so fun. Okay, so we have him in another pose here, and I kind of just put him in this pose, 1, because I saw it on the internet and thought it looked cool, and 2, just to show you how poseable this guy is, because again, when you look at him here, he does feel like he does look very mechanical. Like you look at the knee joints, like they stick out. It doesn't, the shoulders, the elbows, like it doesn't really give a good silhouette of the character, if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't feel human. It feels very robotic. But it's just awesome that like you can put him in like in these poses. Like look at the toe joint. Like you don't get this on Hasbro stuff. I mean, you're starting to with some of the Spider-Man. But it's just sort of like refreshing to be like, okay, I have this picture that I want to recreate, or I have a picture in my mind that I want to recreate with a figure, and it just works. Like, yeah, it takes a little bit to get in there, and like, you know, you're moving stuff around, and again, the shoulders don't look correct. Like, look at the line there on his right shoulder. The white doesn't match up, and also there on the torso, but you know, if you're looking at it back here, and I mean, I could tidy up the lines a little bit. Like, it just still looks great. Like, it's just a great looking figure. Yeah, I put the blaster in his hand there, so hopefully you can get a better look at that and the detail on it. Yeah, I mean, the blaster detail is really, really nice. Like, it's not to the extent of the Super 7 one, I would say, but I think this is like a 5-inch figure and not a 6 or 7, and the Super 7s is 7. So yeah, considering it's a smaller figure in general, like the amount of detail that is on it is great. And yeah, no, I'm really loving this figure. Like it's just fun to play with, fun to put into poses, really fun to take photos of. Like I'm gonna take him outside and take a couple of photos, which you can see if you follow me on Instagram at NotToysAF. And yeah, but until then, let's go through his articulation. Okay, yeah, so this is the first for me, like I said, my first S.H.Figuarts figure, and I think these figures are quite old, so the newer S.H.Figuarts stuff is probably updated and different. But yeah, let's just kind of go through it. So you go through his head. He actually does only have, yeah, he only has this head, so I don't really want to pull it off. But it seems like there is kind of like a sort of dumbbell joint there into the neck that gives it so much range of motion. Like he can look up to here, he can look down to here. He has nice tilt on there, swivel is good, and also, yeah, the neck movement is really good. So yeah, that's a great thing, because I mean, with the I should have done a review for the remastered figures that I got, but the remastered Lightning Collection figures also have that too. His arm goes all the way up to here. You do get a full rotation on there. You just have to be a little bit careful because of this shoulder piece. Again, yeah, this shoulder piece is a separate piece that can kind of be moved around to try and fill in how it looks. Like for example, if you do want to put his arm up, you can kind of cheat it a little bit, so from underneath you can see just the white, so it doesn't kind of break up too much. But yeah, that is one thing you have to kind of think about as the best way to get it to look good. Like if you were to try and do something from the top, you know, like this, it kind of doesn't look great because you have this big gap here. That's my main con of this figure is these shoulders. I'm really not a fan. But everything else, yeah, we go down to the elbows. There are kind of two pin sections in there, which means his arm gets up to here, which is quite good. And yeah, you can see the elbow here. It's quite interesting because you get to see the joint, how it works, and it actually looks like it's just a single pin. Actually, I thought there was one here too because I can see it, but I can't get it to move. So okay, it's just single pin, but still has nice movement. The hand is also kind of on like a pin coming out on a ball, so you can get all ranges of motion, and the hands themselves are quite easy to just pop off. You just very gently pull it off, and then yeah, then you can see the peg there, which again has like a nice range of motion wherever you want it to go. It's on like a ball joint, and the hands again, you just have to just gently apply some pressure. Yeah, going down, you have here, the one thing he doesn't have is a lot of crunch. I noticed that when I was putting him into that kneeling position, the crunch isn't really there, but you can get quite a bit because of the legs, because of how flexible the legs are. The legs themselves, yeah, they are kind of on a ball joint coming out, and they go out to this far. You can get them up quite high, like that's how I managed to get him into that kneeling position. If you move it to the side, and then you can bring the knee pretty much all the way down, which is better than some Spider-Man, as Robo from Foosh would say. So yeah, so you can get him in like really cool jumping poses if you want. Like yeah, you know, this figure really kind of poses itself. You can see here the knee is double jointed. It has a joint here and here. Again, you can see them, so you can get it to come back all the way back. Whoops, his leg fell off, but that's not a problem, because unlike some other companies, it's just very easy to push stuff back together with these figures. And actually, I think the legs are designed to come off because there is an additional belt that you can remove. There is one belt, actually I can show you it now. There is this belt here. If anyone knows what it's from, let me know, where it has like the American flag on it. There's also a matching neck plate piece that has it too. So I guess the head does come off. Just give me 1 second because it's a little fiddly piece to grab hold of. Yeah, there is this piece here, which you can then swap out if you want to. So you can make him like the Americanized Ranger, which I guess was something that happened in the Japanese show. But yeah, continuing on with his articulation, we have the double point jointed knees. There isn't any swivel here. All the swivel comes from the ball joint on the hip, but the foot has a nice rocker going down, side to side is there, and yeah, we have this toe joint that goes up, so you can get him into some really nice kneeling positions. And yeah, I just want to show you the helmet a bit more, because the helmet is really nicely detailed. Like you see the silver on the teeth. Like maybe the teeth are actually a bit small now that I look at them, but still the eye, the nose, all of the lines look really clean. The mouth looks really clean as well. Like it's a really nice looking figure. I hope that the remastered Red Ranger looks this nice. And yeah, in general, these figures are really cool. I also managed to pick up the White Ranger, but I didn't get any box or anything. I just got him loose, and he also looks really cool. And I do have the Tommy head for him, so I might, if this video does well, I might make a quick video of reviewing him too, because that is more Power Ranger. It was the Power Ranger one, and I also really want to get the Green Ranger, but they are so expensive. And I'm actually going on a trip to Japan next month, so I'm hoping that in some like back alley toy store in Japan I can find one that's at like a reasonable price. But yeah, really impressed with this figure. Let me just show you some more of the accessories. So yeah, we already saw the sword. Sword looks really nice and detailed. Everything on it looks great. Like I said, this kind of feels a bit like a tribal tattoo that's been printed on, but I like that they kind of went for that to try and get the detail there. Then we have the blaster in like the pistol form one. Again, really nice detail. You can't read, it doesn't say Power Rangers on it, like I said, like the Super 7 one does, but for the size and the amount of detail on there, it's still quite impressive. Then we have this, what I don't know what this is from. Like this is some kind of addition to the blaster, so we also have that there. You can add them together and it makes this one, which is really cool. Then we have it in its, sorry for the rustling noise, in the blade version, which yeah, I think I'm going to do a pose at the end with this version because I love these blades. And then we have the holstered version, which you probably saw at the start of the video with the sword. And then we have different sets of hands. We have this kind of, like I said, this kind of cobra block hand that we have at the start. We have a hand to hold the pistol weapons. We have another hand then to hold the swords, and then we also have we also have a fist. So yeah, lots of options. Great figure, I really like it. They are more expensive, of course, and the Power Ranger ones are quite hard to get hold of now. Like I said, I got this one off eBay for like a decent price. But yeah, I've only really ever seen the white, the red, and the green, and the green one is really expensive. The white one is quite hard to find in the box, and the red one I would say is probably the most common, at least like in the UK where I was buying it from. But yeah, let's put him in another pose and then we can end the episode. So as promised, here he is with the blade kind of blaster ready. And again, this figure is great. Like this to me feels like how a figure should be, especially if you want one that you want to take like nice poses with, because it's just easy to move. Like just exactly what you think of in your head, you can get him to do it. Like it takes a little bit of work, but you know, I never felt like there was ever anything was ever going to break, which is always a concern with Hasbro, and especially with the recent Super 7 figures. The big issue, as you can see there, is these shoulders. They do look a little bit wacky, but again, you know, with a bit more playing around with it, I think you can get it to kind of line up nicely. And yeah, the main thing I was concerned of was a silhouette, but when you look back here, when it's not in too crazy of a pose, like it just looks great. So yeah, that was my review of the S.H.Figuarts. How do I say his name again? Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, or the Tyrannoranger as we know him, the Power Rangers, the Red Mighty Morphin Ranger. God, I can't get my words out. So yeah, that was my review of him. Also, I wanted to ask you guys if you watched the Once and Always special. I watched it. It was the first kind of Power Rangers show I've probably watched in about 25 years. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'd like to know what you guys thought too. So make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments about it. Also, let me know if you have some S.H.Figuarts. If you managed to get hold of the Green Ranger, I would love to see some pictures of it because it just looks sick. So yeah, make sure you hit me up in the comments and let me know. And if you do want to see that White Ranger review, also, yeah, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and also just leave me a comment saying White Ranger, and I will make a quick review of that. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.